All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen and shipmates. Thank you for having me today at this wonderful event where one can enjoy some fun and entertainment and at the same time take a moment to pause and reflect on some more serious topics. I'd like to commend the Millington Central Navy Junior ROTC for that flag ceremony. I've observed many of those flag ceremonies, as you might imagine, and I enjoy them very much because, among other things, it teaches our youth and reminds us adults about the importance of respect, honor, and patriotism. Speaking of such things, today we observe a somber occasion. As many of you know, today marks 20 years since the attacks on our country, Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Shortly, I will ask everybody to take a moment to reflect where you were and what you were doing 2 decades ago, if you're old enough to remember. I think many of us on 9/11 were huddled around a television. We may have been uncertain, confused, afraid, or if you were like me, enraged. By the afternoon of Tuesday, September 11th, when it was clear it was a deliberate attack by an organized group of terrorists, I think we all knew the events that morning were an attack on the United States as a nation and on our way of life. Some of us, like myself, were already serving in uniform and wondering how and when we would be called upon to respond to these attacks, and eager to hold those responsible accountable. Some of us were young adults who, after seeing the Twin Towers and the Pentagon attacked, made the decision to join the military and go into harm's way to fight back against those who attacked us on our own soil. Since September 11, 2001, nearly 3 million young Americans have raised their right hand and swore oaths to defend the Constitution, willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice. On a previous tour, I spent 4 years leading a recruiting command. During that time, I got to meet hundreds of young men and women who were motivated and dedicated to the mission of keeping our Navy and our nation safe and secure. 9/11 was often cited by them as a reason for why they wanted to join. Older generations are quick to criticize younger generations for not meeting an expected standard. But make no mistake, over the last 20 years since 9/11, our young people have risen to the occasion to do something hard, leaving the comforts of one's family and joining the military during a time of war and keeping our military strong and ready. Those sailors who joined the Navy immediately following 9/11 will be nearing retirement eligibility in the coming months, if you can believe that. It's been a generation of time, and most of those joining the military going forward will not remember that day in our history, or may have been born after. Time heals all wounds, so there will come a day when 9/11 is remembered only in history books and monuments. It's important that we as a nation never forget those attacks and that took the lives of America's mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons. We remember the victims and we honor the lives of those lost and the courage and bravery of first responders who tirelessly worked to save lives at great risk to their own. I encourage each of you to share your own story of 9/11 with a young person. Each of us has a unique perspective of that day and the aftermath that followed. By sharing your story, we keep the memory alive. For my part, I am grateful I had the chance to teach my children about 9/11 and make a deep impression on them by taking them to the memorials in Pennsylvania and at the Pentagon. By taking time to reflect and share experiences, we keep that memory alive, remain vigilant when evil rises again, and honor those that perished 20 years ago. Lastly, I want to assure folks about an important idea that I think gets lost in the debates over current issues we see and hear in the news. I've served 25 years, and I've enjoyed visiting 30 or so countries overseas, some rich, some poor, all very interesting and unique in their own way. I can tell you I like to visit, but I love to return home. I know folks might wonder about the challenges we have here in America and wonder if the grass might be greener somewhere else. I can tell you with absolute certainty and conviction that the U.S. is still the greatest country on earth. Cities in America like Millington are the best of places to live. Passionate debate is part of our freedom, but more important is to treat each other, all citizens and guests in our country, with dignity and respect. This is part of what sets us apart. One of the most important ways to honor the victims of 9/11 is not to lose sight of that idea. We were attacked, but we weren't beaten. Our way of life, our freedoms, our collective values are safe, and I assure you we represent a light of hope for good people all around the world. Those that perished did not die in vain as long as we can uphold this. I would now like to ask us all to take a moment of silence to reflect and honor the victims of September 11th, 2001. Thank you, folks. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there.